This is literally, and I really mean this. This is one of my favorite shows to do. This is our third WrestleMania, and let's get to it. WrestleMania 39, WrestleMania Goes Hollywood is this weekend, April 1st and 2nd from SoFi Stadium out of Inglewood, California, aka Los Angeles. And this is a legitimate huge show. I don't remember a WrestleMania being hyped so much. Triple H's first WrestleMania with creative control, the first WrestleMania without Vince McMahon's involvement. So many, so exactly. But regardless, this is going to be such a great event. And I really think we're going to see something we're not expecting this weekend. So we have the crew with us, Ryan Page and AJ the Man. What's up, gentlemen?
What's going
How's
on,
it
guys?
going? Hey, everybody.
Man, before we get into it, we should start right away because this is a stacked card. But just tell me, what are your thoughts coming into WrestleMania this year?
I think this year is going to be, obviously, like you said, a big WrestleMania. I think last year was also very big, but it's something about Hollywood. When WWE gets to perform in Los Angeles, they really go all out. So I think we're probably going to see more than we even anticipate. I don't even think the card is fully like doing justice to what we could see. We could end up seeing, I think, some surprise returns. We could end up seeing, of course, the celebrities because we're in Hollywood. So I'm expecting there to be a lot of interesting things, both in the matches that are announced and just the moments in between.
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. I'm right now I'm looking at both nights and we've got a lot of names that are on both nights. So I'm pretty excited as well. And with Hollywood, I want to see what kind of celebrities are popping out. And with WrestleMania, they have those cool entrances. So I want to see
Oh,
who pops out the most with those.
Seriously, you saw the Kevin Hart hype video?
yeah.
Yeah.
What event's not complete when you don't have Kevin Hart in it? That's how you know you have your rite of passage almost.
International comedian and actor, as I believe what they called him uh, in the post, by the way.
Oh man, we saw Stephen A. Smith said he's gonna be there
Mhm.
in some capacity. I mean, yeah, this is pretty legit. And you saw the TikTok legend already. James Draws said he's gonna be there. You know, the What Happened guy. I mean, now how could it get any better than this?
Oh,
And
he's gonna be there. I didn't know he was gonna be
yeah, he announced it on his
there.
TikTok last night. He's
That's
gonna be
awesome.
there. So, I mean, like you said, Ryan, this is gonna be a big deal. Wrestling's in a great place as a whole, industry wise. And let's get to it right away because this is a stacked card. And let us bless you with our picks, analysis, and a breakdown of this event. And we are posted this the day before the first night, so assuming nothing gets added, but heck, it could be tomorrow. We also have the NXT event, though. We do love our NXT, but we won't mention it here because again, it's so stacked. Can you imagine the people going from what I assume they're doing like the Crypto Arena / Staples Center, then out to Inglewood? There's a
Well,
lot going on.
hey, shameless plug though. If you do want to get some predictions that are probably wrong about NXT Stand and
Mhm.
Deliver, I wrote something for Last Word on Pro Wrestling, covering the entire card and my predictions for who's going to walk out of those matches as the winner. There's a couple of real big ones: Grayson Waller, Johnny Gargano, Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, and then the ladder match for the NXT Women's Championship. So, Last Word on Pro Wrestling. Just type in Stand and Deliver. Check it out. Really appreciate it.
Perfect. And just send me the link, Ryan, and I'll put it in the description.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, let's break it down. WrestleMania 39. And I'm going to start right away with the big main event. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, the WWE Universal Championship. We have Cody Rhodes try to complete this ultimate full circle story, a comeback story for the WWE, something so he could fulfill a family prophecies for the Rhodes family getting that WWE Championship, and then Roman Reigns, see if he can continue that dominance, so close to being 1,000 straight days as champion, and all of that in between. So let me ask the big question, guys. What are your predictions for this huge main event, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns?
Well, I mean, as I said, obviously, as a fan, I'm going with Cody, but I'll say, not as a fan for a second, I could be wrong about Cody. I've actually seen a lot of folks make the case that 1,000 days is more important than a Cody win at WrestleMania.
You think so?
I don't, but I've seen people say it. I think that Roman Reigns, the Bloodline's the most interesting thing in professional wrestling currently on any show. It's probably one of the most interesting things in professional wrestling, period, like over the course of its history. But I think that the next chapter of the Bloodline is the end of the Bloodline. It's the crumbling of the Bloodline. They do not need the titles to have Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns, or even Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns again, if they really wanted to get to the end of the Bloodline story, and we got to get there soon. He's got to lose these titles, and it has to be not after 1,000 days. It has to be now. 1,000 days, then everyone knows he's losing. If he makes it to 1,000 days, then whoever is the next person to step in the ring with Roman is obviously going to win, because that's what clearly what they've been waiting for. If he wins now, there's still some doubt because that 1,000 day mark is there, so there's still some excitement to a loss here.
Can I just quickly just at the moment he will be at 945. Well, the match itself would be 946 that we mentioned before. It's about the first week of June would hit 1,000 days.
Right.
So he's right there.
He's right there, but I mean, what 945 or what 46, whatever it is unprecedented. We'll never see another person do that. We just won't. And frankly, half of that is because they were waiting for The Rock to be free, and he never was.
Matt, you gotta be mad about that.
My thing with my case with The Rock, I don't know if you heard about this beef he's had with DC that The Rock allegedly really won with Shazam. Like, he really dicked over Zach Levi, wouldn't allow him in Black Adam, and then Black Adam was a legitimate flop. And
flop.
He has some pretty bad PR. I mean, if I was The Rock, go to the one company that no matter he could do no wrong to get that love, but we just can't bank on that. So we've got to focus on what's in front of us.
But anyway, long story short, I could go on this all night. I see what people are saying, but I think WrestleMania, Cody's going to finish the story. He's going to win those titles, and it's going to be the feel-good moment that it's destined to be. The fans are still into it. No one turned on him. No one was like, Sammy or bust. That didn't happen. Everyone was like, it's going to happen. Didn't happen. Everyone's happy for Sammy. Everyone's happy for Cody. They've made those stories work seamlessly together without making one person look stronger than the other. It's been perfect. And the next phase of the Bloodline, because the Bloodline's still going to carry the show, of course, is going to be without Cody, without Sammy, without KO. It's just going to be Jimmy, Jey, Solo, Paul, and Roman. That's the next chapter. And it's still probably going to go on until SummerSlam, but no titles are needed for that. And frankly, it makes it better when there's no titles involved. So I'm saying Roman's losing. Cody's going to finish the story and win at WrestleMania.
Yeah. This match, Cody's got to win, in my opinion. He's got to win. Roman's been going on for a little bit too long. He's been killing it, though. I got to be honest. He's been killing it. He's become the top bad guy in the industry where it's like he almost looks undefeated. You know what I mean? Unbeatable. Honestly, I was on the Sami Zayn train for a little bit. I got to be honest with everybody here. I was a big fan of him maybe carrying it to maybe a triple threat match at WrestleMania, but I'm not mad about this with Cody. But Cody has to win. If Cody doesn't beat Roman, I don't. The build up to this it's got to end with something, because for the past couple years, the Bloodline, like you said, Ryan, has been killing it, absolutely killing it on Raw and SmackDown. And I've become a big fan of Solo because of it, to be honest with you guys. Right now on this paper, I'm not seeing anything, but I don't think Solo has a match.
No.
He's not on the card at the moment.
Not on the card, but he'll be with one of the... He'll be somewhere.
Yeah, he'll be sidelined for that match probably. And besides that, I got one thing about it. If Cody wins, you got to separate the titles. For me, you got to separate them. You got to have one for Raw, one for SmackDown. Maybe get a redesign.
I've actually heard there's a redesign and it's a full unification, but it's just the one. Yeah, I've heard that they're going with one world champion. It's a new design in the whole 9 yards, but it won't be one for Raw, one for SmackDown. There'll be Cody is the champion for both shows, and it'll just be one title.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that then. I'd like
Me
at
too.
least just one. Just I need one championship.
Yeah,
That's all I
not
need.
carrying the two. It's
Yeah,
distracting.
it's a bit much. It's
Yeah.
a bit much.
Yeah, I'm a Roman fan for a long time, been loving this, but even I know that what makes the most sense for this company and the story is that Cody Rhodes is the one to beat him, and we've seen him being portrayed really as a face of the company. He's all over the place. You get like a mid 2000 vibe from mid 2000s John Cena vibe from him in the
Oh,
sense
don't
of
say
getting
that
pushed
though.
over there.
Don't say that.
Well,
No.
not in the sense of Cena wins LOL, in the sense that like he is, he's
Yeah.
this podcast one day, this talk show the next,
Mhm.
and you see kids love him, wrestling fans love him, hardcore wrestling fans love him. It makes sense. I mean, he's even making that neck tattoo kind of cool. Like I'm used to it. Probably the only person I've ever seen successfully rock a neck tattoo.
Successfully is subjective, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
was about to say,
I've
yeah.
gotten used to it. It's
Yeah,
no longer distracting.
exactly. But yeah, he's just a great, sympathetic, wholesome figure to cheer for, and it's his night to win. And I really
Mhm.
hope the special match when he kicks out of 8 Superman punches and 10 spears and
I hope they don't do that.
all of that
Actually,
plays.
I
I
gotta
hope
see
they
a
don't do
bionic
that.
elbow. I gotta see a bionic
Of
elbow in that
course.
match.
And the also thing I like is they've done this story without doing the cliche can they coexist, let's make them tag team and stuff.
Mhm.
It's almost like how a heavyweight boxing match in the sense that they're just two dudes who are competitors and coming at each other, and without punching those two punching, then I think it's just a genuine build without being too flashy.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels like the last time we had like this clean like baby face, like just pure 100% good face in the main event was Kofi Mania. But I think the difference is Kofi Mania, that was clearly like Kofi's a B plus player. Like that was the whole gimmick because he was
Yeah,
against Daniel Bryan, who was the person before him that kind of ran that same story. This isn't that, and I was worried that that would be bad, but no, this feels like, to use a really bad boxing reference that you mentioned boxing. This almost feels like um, Mayweather Pacquiao
hmm
in terms of like these are the two best. It's not like can he do it? Like I mean, there's of course
yeah,
little elements of that, and they tried every once in a while to be like Roman is insurmountable, but so far they've been like Roman is insurmountable, and yet Cody is also insurmountable. They've really made this like yeah we have two top guys, the two very best on our roster, and they're going to compete for the top title at the main event of WrestleMania night too.
Hmm.
So I like that. You can't always tell that. They told it too much with John Cena. Uh,
right.
Actually, I think part of the John Cena's problem is they didn't tell it enough. They kept doing the underdog shtick, even though he never lost. And so I think that the fact that they know, like, listen, Cody's never lost, so we can't pretend he's an underdog. We just have to be like, what's going to happen when the two best go after it? And I think it's working. And
Yeah,
again, just very cool that they were able to make all of this work, to make the bloodline work, with the Zayn stuff work, with the Cody stuff work. Kudos to the team that put all of this together. And I'm sure it's been a lot of people over the like however long it's been for the bloodline. And we don't want to talk about too much, but bloodline is the most important part of wrestling right now. So I guess it gets a little more time. But
mhm.
it's just been great. The way they've been able to merge everything together into this bloodline story, to make sure everybody shines.
Absolutely, and they're doing nothing but a great job doing that. So while it's a great transition to talk about this tag team match, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship. Guys, my first question, should this main event night one?
It can.
Wouldn't it be cool, like the fact that a WrestleMania main event, a tag team title is on the line? Nothing to take away from the women's championships, because those are intriguing stories as well. But as you said, they clearly have made the Bloodline story the most important thing of their shows. So
I
I
mean,
think it makes sense.
yeah, I think it makes sense. I could also see, I mean, Rhea won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Typically, the Royal Rumble winners in the main event. So I would say that the only other match that makes sense would be Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley
hmm
for the main event. But I don't think they can really go wrong either way. And I do think again, this is a bloodline mania. I think, as the entire company's been a bloodline company for the last 2
hmm
years. So it would make sense for the Bloodline to main event both nights, and doing the tag match would do that. It would give the fans who kind of wanted to see Zayn in a triple threat or just one-on-one Roman at Mania, give Sami Zayn that WrestleMania main event. So I could see that. I don't think that that's a bad idea. But again, I can also see that Rhea Ripley gets to main event WrestleMania, big moment for her. So I think as long as it's one of those two, it should be fine. And the only one that could have been with the John Cena match, but that's opening up. So I think
Yeah, I was
it's
about to say that.
50-50 shot that they do the tag team match at the end. But
Yeah, I think Ripley and Charlotte should have honestly main evented because like Ryan said with the Royal Rumble, and I honestly thought it was gonna be Cena in theory before I heard the news that they were going first, which kind of also changes my prediction about the match because yeah.
Yeah, and now focusing on the match itself, which direction do you go? Do you have the Usos continue their long reign in itself, or do you have Sammy and KO, the will they, won't they brothers, finally end it and take the championships with them? And that would be a significant loss to the Usos. Where do you go?
it's WrestleMania. Sammy
Mm-hmm.
has to win at this show. He just does. And I think it plays to the bloodline falling apart storyline. I will say there's again a case to be made that wouldn't it be interesting if Roman lost, but the Usos did not. So now that the tribal chief's the only one who doesn't have anything around his waist, you could again that would be very interesting, and I'm sure it would make for great TV in the years to come. But they don't need to do that. And I think they do need to capitalize on what is probably the hottest point of Sami Zayn's career. And there's no guarantee that this will continue. Nothing is guaranteed. But after Montreal at Elimination Chamber, I think Sammy's still white hot. And I think that he's got to win. That's what the fans want, especially in the main event. The fans want to see Sammy win. If honestly, that's my prediction: Zayn and Owens win. But if they don't show up at the end, then maybe there's a chance that they're gonna lose. But if they're the main event, then there's no way Sami Zayn is losing in the main event of WrestleMania this year. He's way, way too popular for that. I don't know how long their run's going to be after it's all said and done. They're definitely not a tag team like long term, I don't think. But yeah, I think that this is it for them. They're gonna catch lightning in the bottle finally and get that big WrestleMania moment with Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I say the same thing. I don't think it's maybe because Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have to be tag champs. It's not that. I just think that the titles have to come off the Usos, and I think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are that perfect tag team where once they beat the Usos, it opens up the tag team division to a lot more other tag teams to maybe get the championship and get a little run in, especially with Triple H now, running things backstage.
Yeah, you definitely want the tag team division to be legitimate, as big as they were with NXT. And this is a good opportunity to take it. And yeah, thus the literary standpoint of just ending this reign in part one, the Usos fall, then Roman, then you could really see how creative Bloodline can be. And transition to that and what we talked about, and I want to hear AJ's point on this. What is opening the show is John Cena versus Austin Theory United States Championship match. AJ, tell us why you think, or what do you think is going to happen since this is going to open up this huge Hollywood WrestleMania where you have a legitimate box office star in it, in John Cena, and also a TV star in HBO Max with Peacemaker.
Well, I love Peacemaker, by the way, great show. By the way, yeah. I don't know. I think this had potential to be a really, really big match, but I could be really, really wrong here. But I say Theory wins and just continues doing this thing. But I could also see Cena beating him, and then next night on Raw, maybe having a U.S. Open challenge. I do see those theories going around, but I don't know. I think it might be just a 1-2-3 match, and then Cena just goes off and does his thing.
Yeah, I was wondering, do you guys think this could potentially be a retirement match? And he does the honors for Theory and then he goes makes Peacemaker season 2.
I mean, I'll just jump in. I think he'll probably end up doing that, but I don't think they'll call it a retirement match.
He won't take off the wristbands in the middle
Oh,
of
he
the ring to
might.
say
I'll
bye.
cry. I'll cry if that happens.
To start off WrestleMania like that.
And he might. I'm not saying he won't, but I don't believe we should take
just
that
going
as
to theory.
but I'm saying don't just an Austin theory. But I don't think even if he does all of that, I don't think we should take it as anything more than just a moment for fans. He could show up on Raw the next night.
He was crying when he came out. Could this be like, oh, is this gonna end soon while you watch?
My thing is with that though is like, hasn't he taken off his wristband and laid it in the middle of the ring like 5 times already in his career? You know what I mean? So it's like it's hard to believe it's the it's hard to believe it's the end, you know?
And Undertaker retired like 4 times too. Ric Flair is still trying to figure out how to retire. So I don't think we have to worry about a retirement, like a serious one. I think Austin Theory makes sense to win. I think John Cena is more interesting to win. For all the reasons I say that Cody should win, tell the simple story. I think the more complex story is more interesting with Theory and Cena. But I don't know. I want to be right because I was very wrong last year. I got like 3 matches correct. So I'm going to say Austin Theory because I think that's what's going to happen. But I do think, again, John Cena being U.S. champ again, the U.S. Open Challenge. All I'll say is the next 3 pay-per-views are international shows. They got Backlash in Puerto Rico. They've got a Saudi show, I'm assuming like Crown Jewel or King of the Ring or something. And then they've got Money in the Bank in London. WWE goes in on international shows. They don't do them that often. So whenever they do them, they like to go big. And they're doing 3 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping Cena around feels like something they'll do over this next stretch because it's literally it goes Backlash in Puerto Rico, the Saudi show, Money in the Bank in London, and then they've got, I believe, SummerSlam's the next announced pay-per-view. I think there might be a gap in there. They could fill it, but like if that's really the
country of Detroit,
yes, and if that's really the schedule, if those are the next 3 international shows and SummerSlam, I just saying it would make sense they'd want to keep some of these like nostalgia acts, some of these celebrities around a little longer, and Cena would make sense as someone who they could keep. But I still think it would be kind of mean to Austin Theory. He does need it more. Maybe they'll continue the story where like, you know, Cena didn't take him seriously, but next time he will, and they'll trade the title at a later date. But I'm going to guess Theory because I want to be right.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
It seems that there's a tradition now that the opening night is always a banger. And yeah, you could just, with all the high end and the A-listers who will be out there, say, hey, that's one of us. You have Ike Barinholtz there cheering him on. I think it should be a lot of fun, and it makes more sense, as you said, for Austin Theory to tell you, but they'll just let John Cena get that one.
All right, Matt's going different. Matt wants a point of contention.
Yeah.
So we have Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley battling it out for the SmackDown's Women's Championship, as Ryan mentioned. Rhea Ripley won the Women's Royal Rumble. These two actually, I think people legitimately forgot they fought at a WrestleMania before, and it was really good. So
it wasn't, yeah.
You know, it was better than
normal.
Well, yeah, it didn't end well, but it wasn't a bad match. So this technical rematch, just Rhea Ripley is going in her symbiote phase with black hair. Now, what do we think is going to happen here? Is Charlotte going to win again, lol? Or is Rhea Ripley going to win? And how does that implement into her stable, the Judgment Day? Which, by the way, sucks to be wow, why am I blanking? Because
Dominic?
Yeah. No, not Dominic.
No,
not Dominic, and not.
You mean Damian Priest, the only member of Judgment Day who couldn't find his way onto this card.
Yeah. Too bad.
Everyone else has a featured match, and he's just not on.
He's just kind of there. But anyways, Rhea Ripley, we saw her and Dominic for some reason vandalize the WrestleMania convention, and I don't know. Well, I saw it. I don't know if you guys saw the clip. They were literally.
I saw the clip.
Yeah. So
they they kicked the mask into the. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, and they graffitied
his face. Yep.
Yep, and they graffitied Charlotte. But Where does this go in this, light versus dark match? In the sense of character-wise.
This goes to whatever the PG-13 version of Live Sex Celebration is. Ray is gonna win. It makes sense. I shouldn't say gonna. Charlotte is in this match, so you never really know.
Mhm.
But and I love Charlotte. We all know I love Charlotte, and Charlotte consistently has my favorite match of WrestleMania, and I'm hopeful that will happen. The build has not been great, so I'm gonna rely heavily on the match being good and the right person winning to kind of carry this because I'm not excited. Like there's nothing about what they've said that's got me excited. Honestly, the best thing that's come out of this build is that Dom has been on TV twice.
Yes.
And so like he's been able to do his like mommy stuff against Charlotte, and he's been able to do like the daddy stuff against his daddy. So I think that, I think Ray is going to win. It's going to actually be hard, I think, to incorporate all this into Judgment Day. Judgment Day is so many things. Like, Judgment Day is a comedy act, like a very good one. Judgment Day is also presented as like a genuine heel faction. I mean, like, Finn Balor and Damian Priest they're not telling any jokes. I mean, they are when they're with Dom, but like Judgment Day is just so many different things all at the same time. And somehow it's worked. And I do worry that this title might just be too many ingredients it shouldn't work. It shouldn't be equal parts funny, equal parts like dangerous. They tried that with like the original New Day when they were heels, and it didn't work at all. And maybe this, people are cheering Rhea and they're not cheering Charlotte, who is supposed to be the good guy. So this might just turn Judgment Day like face, which I don't know what they're going to do with that, because Dom is very much working as the bad guy against his dad.
He's a former convict.
Yes, prison Dom. So I don't know how that'll work, but so I'm very intrigued to see what comes next. But again, in the moment, the right call is Rhea winning, getting her win back, beating Charlotte, and Charlotte can go and do whatever it is she'd like until they need her to take the title off of somebody else in an emergency bit of booking like they did this year.
I gotta be honest. Last time I picked this match, I was dead wrong, and I picked Rhea. So I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna pick Rhea again. I'm doubling down. Judgment Day. It's one of those factions where you don't really know what it is, and it works though. It works, like you were saying. In the beginning, for me, it wasn't really functioning, but then you kind of see Dom become his own character, and he kind of feeds into being hated so much that I kind of started to like him, to be honest. Like I was texting Matt earlier. I was like, Dom is the best thing on television besides Solo, in my opinion. Like he is so funny sometimes, and he at first I thought he didn't really understand it, but he does it on purpose. Like you can tell like he likes giving into the crowd. And Rhea and Dom, their dynamic very much reminds me of Eddie and China back then, like those early SmackDown days.
Yeah.
For some reason, they just, the way, and her with the title, I think it would be perfect, them walking around together.
Yeah, I do, like, I was only half kidding. I think someone in the writers' room should be sitting down right now and thinking about how they can do, or at least advertise, the live celebration with Dom and Rhea. It should not go. It should not go. It should not go the same way. Let me be clear. Like Edge and Lita's was like semi-real until Ric Flair showed up, and just like should not go the way. It should be like a comedy of errors.
Semi-real.
It should be. It should be awkward. Dom should be funny. He should be very bad at whatever it is they do. There should be probably bondage. Dom should probably be tied to something.
Oh my god.
But I'm just saying, like, it should be very funny. It should not be anything like the Edge one. It should be like comically awkward. But they should try it. And if they really can't do it because of the advertisers, like if the pitch just doesn't land with NBC or with Fox, and pitch it for both. Whoever says yes, that's where you do it. An intense
make-out session?
No, he needs to be like handcuffed to stuff. Like,
man. 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, but again, never let it get there. Let it obviously be like comedy from the get.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it could work. I don't know if they'll do it again. It's probably too risque, but I think it would be very funny to invert what happened the first time, because
Yeah,
now
that'd be hilarious.
the dominant champion is, the woman, and Dom is not. It would be very funny, I think, and I think they could do it if they really tried. I just don't know if they want to give it that much thought.
It really is, not to bring it up to bring up the theme again, the will they, won't they, but they do it in a real different way, because you don't necessarily see like sexual tension between them. It's just, or at least I don't. Maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but
Dom and Rhea?
yeah, I mean, well, it's hard.
They're supposed to be banging. That's the character.
Oh well,
That's
then
the
I'm not.
character.
Well, I have to see some more of it, because when they ruin holidays and stuff.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
they're
know.
supposed to be banging. That's the funny
I
part.
must be looking it wrong, but
She's
Yeah,
big
no,
and he's
Matt,
small.
I understand, because I do know that that's what they're supposed to be doing. But Dom is
It doesn't show up.
Dom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dom is
Yeah.
such a little boy. It almost
Exactly.
it's hard for you to see it that way. Yeah.
Well, that's what's supposed to be funny. Is he's
Yeah.
clearly a small. He's a boy, and she's
we'll
like
we
a
just
big
need to
woman.
we need to
I mean?
see
That's
the image
joke.
of him getting leash on a leash when she's walking.
Yes.
That would
Oh,
make it
in a
great.
leash. Yeah, the scene. Yeah, he has to be on a leash. That's a good shot.
Oh my.
Gimp suit Dom. Make it
Gimp
happen.
suit Dom goes crazy.
Gibson Dom, but and it's funny where we have all these directions it's going, plus a legitimate two generational stars going at the same time. That's why we like this wrestling. We really do. So I think this is a good time to talk about Dom's match. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. Oh, a match that has been hyped up since what, late August, September, when they said hit your dad, and he finally hit him. And I think Rey went on a podcast saying, "I'm dedicating this match pretty much for all the pain in the ass kids," and they did it. And, I was wondering, on a fundamental standpoint, it really is weird to see a dad fight his son, but this is wrestling, so you don't have to worry about it. But I think it made sense why he finally snapped, and with him intimidating his mom and sister, and this really could be a lot of fun to watch. I have no idea where this is going. Where do you think this is going? Like, who benefits the most from winning? A father beating his dad or his son beating his dad?
I think
father
Dominic
beating his son and a son beating his dad. But okay, you say Dominic.
Yeah, I say Dominic because this could be Ray's final little rivalry before he goes off and does his own thing, maybe backstage, and he helps people, helps wrestlers. But I need to see if this isn't the final match for Ray, I need to see a ladder match with him and Dominic. It needs to come full circle from SummerSlam.
Cool.
I need to see that happen. But yeah, I got Dominic winning this. But I won't be mad if Ray wins either. I don't see what Ray gets out of this, to be honest.
I said I wasn't going to do this. I wrote down an answer. I wrote down Dominic. And I'm reading what I wrote. And I think I'm wrong. Here's why. I'm going to go Ray. I'm changing my guess. I'm going to go Ray. Okay. This is obviously not the last match in this kind of story. I thought they were going to throw a stipulation on this. I thought maybe a mask match, right? Or maybe Ray has to join the Judgment Day. I thought we were going to get something like that, but they really made the build to this. And I think part of it is because of the surprise Hall of Fame thing, actually. I don't know how much of that was supposed to happen and how much of that was Batista couldn't make it. Not that Ray doesn't deserve it. He absolutely does. But they just very, very infrequently have you get inducted on a Friday and compete in a match on a Saturday.
And very active still, too.
Yeah. So I think this and he was. I know for a fact there was schedule.
No, I know. I was just wondering what project he's doing.
Yeah,
he can't make it.
And so I part of me wonders if that's why they strung it out so long. But obviously the build has been, I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to fight you. And it wasn't until last week, a week before Mania, that he said, all right, you little brat, I'm going to fight you. And so it would be really weird for him to finally be like, I'm going to fight you and then lose. I think maybe it's a DQ. Maybe this is where Priest gets involved. He kicks Ray's head off after a long match. And then sets up, because they're going to fight in Puerto Rico. In some capacity, maybe a tag match with Santos Escobar or Bad Bunny, or maybe both.
Bad Bunny, let's go.
Oh, I mean, yeah, Bad Bunny is gonna be at the Puerto Rico show, obviously.
Yeah, I think they announced he's an integral part of it.
Yeah, so again, there's gonna be Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio stuff at Backlash, and without the gimmick, without like the thing tacked onto it, I feel like it feels weird for Ray to be like, I'm gonna beat up my son for being a prick and then lose. So I think that it's probably by DQ or some sort of like weird finish. I'm not necessarily sure we're gonna get a full on like Ray 619 beats up his son, pins him. There might be some sort of shenanigans, but I'm gonna go Ray wins because I think that there's still, obviously there's again either a mask versus hair or a join the Judgment Day stip, which I think would be really good. By the way, if Ray had to join a heel faction as like a reluctant part, so he was a heel but not really, I think that'd be great. Yeah, I'm gonna go Ray wins this one. Big moment at Mania, of course, and then but some sort of shenanigans, and then Dom gonna win the rest of the feud and take us to where we are, maybe SummerSlam.
Yeah.
For a ladder match.
For a ladder match.
I like the ladder match idea, figuring out I don't know what they put up.
Book it, guys. You gotta book it.
Career ladder match. Only one of them gets to keep their job. That's what's at the top. It's a contract. The loser gets fired. That could work.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
be a way to retire Ray. That's really what they wanted.
I'm gonna go with Dominic on this one and just see how this all plays out. And it'll be interesting how the final SmackDown, this all becomes a thing and what happens there. So maybe this is where they feature Stephen A, like you said. I'm really interested.
Berating Dom for being such a jerk.
Oh man, and maybe the Miz is hosting. The Miz is hosting. They give him.
I have a theory about Miz.
You want to give that really quick?
Sure. I think Miz and LA Knight are gonna have Bobby Lashley and somebody in an impromptu tag match. Maybe Steve Austin, to be honest with you. If they wanted to get him involved in something and didn't have anything else. Bobby Lashley has been tweeting all week that he's wrestling at WrestleMania. He's been adamant he'll be at WrestleMania.
No matter what.
And so maybe he just goes out and calls someone out, and then Bray returns and they just do their match on the fly. That would be kind of weird because Bray is really more of a story guy. I know people disagree with that. I love Bray. I'm not gonna give up on him. Can't make me. But even though I should, because he's not proven himself at all this most recent return, I won't give up. So maybe that happens, but I don't think it will. I think LA Knight's gonna want to do his little LA moment. Yeah. And so
I really want that.
Yeah, and so Miz will come out and try to like maintain order, and then he'll side with Knight, and then mystery partner, whoever that may be, maybe a return, maybe Stone Cold, will side with Bobby Lashley. We'll get an impromptu tag match where Lashley just destroys the Miz. LA Knight gets a little offense with somebody, and then Lashley pins Miz because Miz can lose forever. He's fine. So that's what I'm thinking. That's my bold prediction is with LA Knight. So no Stephen A there unless he wants to be special guest ref.
Yeah. Or
is LA Knight does he have a match?
No.
Nah, he's not on the card now.
Okay. And neither is Bobby. So I'm like, those two are doing a thing. Miz is probably going to be there because he's got to do something. Maybe a New Day member like Kofi.
Right? Or what about Randy coming back if these rumors?
No, Randy comes back. It's with Riddle. And if Riddle comes back, that's where Stephen A is. Tell him stay off the weed.
Put them in the SAG team showcase. So we have Bianca Belair and Asuka going at it for the Raw Women's Championship. Do we have Asuka, this career-defining performer who's put so much into it? Can she knock out Bianca Belair and take the titles from her? Bianca Belair's kind of now going on the John Cena Bianca Belair wins lull phase. I don't know, maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, but this could be a good time to give the belt to Asuka again. That's who I'm picking with this, but where do you see it?
I know I'm probably in the minority opinion here.
And you're a big Asuka fan.
Oh, I love Asuka. Love me some Asuka. I think Bianca should retain here. And really just one reason, because I actually agree we are real close to the Bianca wins lull. And I hate that. I really do hate that because I love Bianca as well. But I mean, this darker Asuka has been killing it. Fans want to see this darker Asuka more, and they kind of haven't been able to get out of third gear here, or first gear rather here in this feud. Because I mean, who's the bad guy? Who's the good guy? Asuka can't be too bad because people don't want to boo her. Like, it's just been very like the build has been kind of lame. Because this is really a hard match to book because people do like both of them, but they like the wrong person just a little bit more. You know what I mean? The person who's supposed to be kind of the heel is kind of more over than the person who's supposed to be like kind of the face. However, what to me anyway, and I've been on this podcast now, like you said 3 times, and I think I've probably said this the last 2 times for sure. Like Bianca Belair has been WrestleMania the last 2 years. Like when I think of WrestleMania, I think of Bianca Belair. She just somehow, and it's, I mean, really impressive. She's just like imbued with the spirit of WrestleMania. Like even throughout other parts of the year, like when I see Bianca Belair, I'm like, oh, like that's Bianca Belair. It just makes me think about WrestleMania. And maybe it was that historic main event, that first one. It could still just be that. But to me, Bianca feels like WrestleMania in a way that like Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker felt like WrestleMania whenever they were on screen. So I think, and technically there's no streak. Someone will be like, well, actually, she did lose the Mae Young fucking Snickers over the top rope trophy thing. When she was in NXT, she came up for that because they needed to fill the card, and she was obviously didn't win. But since she's been called up, she's won at WrestleMania. That is a streak to me. I will die on that hill. She's got an undefeated streak of 2 at WrestleMania. I think it's worth it to do the win here. And then if you have to run it back literally on the Raw after Mania, do it then. If Asuka's the right call, then we'll have her win the next night on Raw, or rather on Monday, Raw after Mania, big title change. Bianca needs to win at WrestleMania. She just is too like connected to that brand to lose at WrestleMania. That's my opinion. Again, I get the whole super Bianca. I think it's probably accurate, but just one more show, guys, and then we can take the belt off her for a good long while. But we need one more win for Bianca.
Yeah, Bianca. I like to call her Miss WrestleMania because she's been killing it these past couple of years.
Miss WrestleMania. I like that.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of like Seth Rollins versus The Fiend at Hell in a Cell, where it's like the guy, like you were saying, the person who's supposed to kind of be the heel is kind of getting cheered more than the actual champion.
Mm-hmm.
But I see Asuka winning, but my pick is gonna be Bianca. I'm throwing it out the window. Bianca wins Lowell. I'm happy with it too. She's been killing it. I don't care. It is what it is.
Very ominous comparing it to that Fiend match specifically.
Yeah.
Let's hope for everyone involved and everyone in the entire state of California that is better than that Fiend match.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That almost ruined wrestling.
Almost ruined all of wrestling. It did ruin Seth Rollins for like a year.
Oh.
They really in a Hell in a Cell where anything goes,
DQ.
where the word hell is in the match. Yeah. DQ, disqualified.
Anything could have been better than that. Anything.
Oh,
it is what it is.
What a disgrace. But one thing, I think we can agree that this will be a very good match with 2 stellar athletes going at it.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Be back and forth. It'd be a lot of fun to watch. And I'm going to go with Asuka on this one.
All right, I'm alone. Oh, not alone. You're alone, Matt.
I'll take it. I think it's her time to get a nice WrestleMania
Bianca.
moment with
Team
her.
Bianca.
So it'll be some good stuff. So Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship.
I'm excited for this one.
This is going to be great. It's essentially a huge battle of 3 European nations. Austria versus Scotland versus Ireland. Oh man.
If you use huge like fictitiously, then sure.
But Gunther officially beats the Intercontinental Championship record, longest reign of all time. Sheamus with the career resurgence. Drew McIntyre is as badass as it comes. This is 3 Goliaths really coming at it. And, it really should be Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, but, they don't like good ideas sometimes in WWE.
That would be a great match.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm getting
know.
the chance.
Gunther
You
have
go,
to
do you?
lose that though.
There'd be some good.
Brock's not putting Gunther over.
I don't know.
Come on, I have opinions about Brock now. I'm upset with him.
Oh,
I'm cross with
yeah.
Brock.
Well, we could talk that when we talk about his match. But regarding this one though, who's coming out as the Intercontinental Champion here?
All right, I'll go first
New
on
guy,
this.
the old guys, what?
I'll go first. I could totally see Gunther, but I'm actually gonna say Drew. Here's why. I do have a why. The most lasting moment I draw from this year's Royal Rumble was the mini match between Gunther and Cody at the end of that match. I think
That was awesome.
It was so good. And if you weren't a fan of Gunther or you were not aware of Gunther, like really, you were now. Like it was so good.
From the one position too.
Yeah, I think that Gunther versus Cody needs to be, if not the first thing that Cody does with that his new world title, it needs to be the second. If they have to finish a Roman Reigns thing first, fine. But as soon as Roman is gone or that's taken care of, Gunther versus Cody is the feud. And I know like maybe Jay White will come in, maybe Kenny Omega wants to come in. I don't care. They can wait in line. Gunther was phenomenal in that match. It turned him into a star for anyone who didn't think he was a star already. Imperium, numbers game, similar to the Bloodline as well. One of the best, only ways to give Cody like a real shot at losing, in the booking from a booking sense, because there are 3 of them. So there adds some stakes to keep the Super Cody thing from becoming real. He can't do that if he's the IC champion. So I think Drew turns on Sheamus. I don't exactly know how that would be because they are fighting each other, but I'm sure WWE will find a way. We get, heel Drew, babyface Sheamus, continue fighting over that title because that title's become the workhorse title, thanks to Gunther, by the way. And those two are so good, they'll be able to keep that workhorse, banger after banger going. But Gunther needs to be moved up to Cody ASAP. And so I think he has to drop the title here. And so if it's got to be Drew or Sheamus, I'm just going to say Drew because it's literally a coin flip for me.
His time is now.
Yeah. Quick side note, by the way, before I lose this thought about Jay White. I think he'd be perfect for the U.S. Championship to pull up the Raw after WrestleMania.
If John Cena wins it?
If Cena wins it and he calls out U.S. Open Challenge, you hear Jay White's music hit,
yeah,
whole place is going crazy.
But
yeah, about this match, I think might be the match of the night, strictly because of the workers in it. Sheamus, Drew, and Gunther, they hit. They're some big boys. You know what I mean? They can swing and they can work. I got Gunther winning this just because I think he deserves it. He's been carrying that IC title I think he's the best one to hold that title since it's been redesigned.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But like you said, Ryan, I could also see Drew winning it. But whoever comes out losing between them two, Drew or Gunther, should go after Cody. Yeah, they should go because Drew, just like you said, with Gunther, Drew also, I think he deserves that main event spot because he carried us during COVID, So
yeah,
and when he won his title, he wasn't even in front of a crowd. So
get that big WrestleMania.
So, to be clear, this person's gonna get fed to Cody. I'm not.
Yeah, yes.
Gunther or Drew, they're not beating Cody in a month. But
yeah, that's why you gotta at least
number
have
one
main
contenders
event,
match.
Give him something.
Yeah. And give it to Gunther. That's what I say. This man's gonna be, especially a time to really grow these new stars and maybe start some kind of new generation of big WWE talent. If these rumors are true, if Roman's the next one to go to Hollywood, and if they're gonna phase out that one, you don't think so, Ryan?
I mean, what is it? They have The Rock.
Oh, seriously, see Roman Reigns in the fast.
I don't
again?
See his lane. I don't see his lane. I think
I'm just going off the Nick Khan remarks.
If it's his passion, like I think everyone should attempt to follow their dreams, right? So if he wants to go for Hollywood, he's got a name. He'll get some booking for sure. But
it really is getting gimmicky now. You're going to become a top champion and then you're a movie star.
Well, so I think so the best actor is Batista by like a lot.
Yeah.
And John Cena is very funny. He does the comedy stuff great. The Rock is an action star. So what
The
is
Rock is the Rock too in every movie.
well that besides that, but he's an action star. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
explosions,
he's
there's fighting.
Arnold.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is Roman gonna do? He's not gonna be funnier than Cena. He's not gonna be a better actor than Batista, and he's not gonna outrock the Rock. I just don't know what the lane is for him. But you know what? I'm also not an actor, so we'll see. But I just feel like he might find it a little bit more difficult than he realizes. He'll have a little bit more Scorpion Kings than I think he anticipates in his IMDb page if he goes to Hollywood. But
yeah,
I say why walk away from the kingdom? You know what I mean? You're the top guy. You're officially over with the crowd. Why leave now and then go to Hollywood at this point?
True. And regardless, Roman staying or not, just get these new stars, make a huge main event scene, especially with the rising competition all across the industry and all over. It'd be a good time to get people like Gunther in there. So we have Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus going against Damage Control. What a 6 women tag team match here. What are we doing here, guys?
Well, I don't have these in order. Give me a second.
One thing I will say here again, WWE and wrestling is just the worst at keeping secrets or rumors. I mean, maybe people are just making stuff up, but if the rumors are true that Becky Lynch is just gonna wrestle Trish Stratus at SummerSlam, I would just wonder how that implements anything. Reckon it is 4 months away.
SummerSlam is like 4 or 5 months away, right? So
you're not gonna see Trish Stratus turn or something.
Well, we might
like a Shinsuke moment with AJ Styles.
Well, that was horrible. So hopefully they learned from that. But I'm gonna say so. I wrote down here that BLT. That is what I'm calling them.
I never noticed that. Wow.
So Team BLT is going to win. Only because I think Damage Control, and I like everybody in it, is bad. They're not good anymore. They were good for what they were used for. They got 3 people who had been off WWE television. One of them had been actually fired. So they got 3 people who I like very much back onto WWE TV. It gave them a prominent role. It gave them some TV time to reestablish them with the fans. Damage Control worked perfectly for what it was meant to do, which is bring Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky back to the main roster, or to the main roster in the case of Sky and Kai. But they're not a threat to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I don't take them seriously as beating Asuka or Charlotte or Rhea or Bianca. So no matter who holds these women's championships after WrestleMania, I don't see any member of Damage Control being a contender. So I think BLT wins, breaks up Damage Control. Damage Control does its own thing, and then BLT can sort amongst itself how they want to get to SummerSlam.
And will we have the veterans do well in this?
Well, they're going to be portrayed as doing well.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is going on with this, AJ?
I don't really got much to say about this match. I think it's a pretty easy pick, which is why I'm going with the opposite, and I'm going with Damage Control.
Okay.
I got Damage Control winning this, and then I don't know, going on a full-on title run, getting the female tag titles, and then getting the women's championship.
Well, they just lost those female tag titles.
I know. They got to get them back.
What I don't get, and maybe AJ, maybe you have a thought on this too. Why is it Becky and Lita as the tag team champions if Trish was going to be involved?
Yeah, I don't understand that. I think
Trish and Lita as the tag team. That's the interesting bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The former rivals turned tag team partners to take on a new generation of tag teams. That's interesting. And then you see them versus Ronda and Shayna, because let's be honest, they're next. Like, I don't know. Like, that feels right. And maybe they do that. Maybe they find a way to like injure, quote unquote, Becky and get the title on Trish. And that's where the SummerSlam feud take. I don't know. But I'm watching this. I'm like, I get that Trish maybe wasn't ready or whatever, but it didn't happen in Canada. So I was at first like, well, it has to happen in Canada. And so, Trish can't do it because the title win didn't happen in Canada, but neither did her debut. So what, who cares? You're not going to do it in Canada anyway.
Yeah. It almost feels like Becky Lynch, like when you're seeing all the names on here, it almost looks like her name is just thrown on there just to be thrown in there, So
Right, but she's one of the
yeah,
champions in the match. It's like
yeah,
it's very strange
yeah,
why they didn't give it to the
Trish.
LMT of BLT.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think BLT is going to win, especially. I think it's going to go for BLT, especially for the Hollywood aspect of it. Just get all the
the
celebrities like,
big
hey, I
names.
know him,
Yeah,
I know him.
Yeah, I remember Trish, right? Or I remember Lita. Also, if they start calling them BLT, I'm gonna lawyer
trademark
up.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna lawyer up.
Trademark
So I'm
it.
saying it here first. Team BLT or BLT, I'm gonna trademark both. So I'm gonna lawyer up WWE. You can
I
use it, you just
like
gotta
it.
give me credit.
Why do we talk about Becky's husband? Seth freaking Rollins is going up against Logan Paul. Oh man. And I think Logan Paul went and said that his contract ends after WrestleMania. He could resign, I don't know. But what are we doing with this? Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. Last time we saw the image of Logan Paul above Seth Rollins on the ground at playing dead. This match could be really good. It seems these two have very similar styles, and I think they could be very entertaining in this. I personally think Seth is going to take this. Seth freaking Rollins is going to win. What do you guys think with Logan Paul in a place that, again, a Hollywood place? Who's more Hollywood than Logan Paul right now against the industry professional veteran and a future Hall of Famer and arguably the best wrestler, one of the best wrestlers around right now?
I was gonna defer to AJ since this is also AJ's man.
My boy right here, the man, the
Yeah.
myth, the legend, Seth freaking Rollins. As a fan,
Yes,
I hope Rollins stomps him into the ground. But honestly, looking at this as an actual wrestling match, it's interesting because I like what they did with the build-up of this match, where they were
was it?
posting on social media, almost seeming like it's like a real beef, you know.
Mhm.
Um, and like I said before, I was really surprised with the way Logan Paul was able to wrestle with these past couple matches he's done. And when he was talking about his contract, he said his rookie year, so it almost sounds like he wants to resign, which I won't be mad at all.
Yeah, I think it'd be really
Hope
good for him, and
Yeah,
he's a good wrestler.
yes. Hopefully, he doesn't blow out his entire knee well during this match. But yeah, someone told me though that, and it's made me look at his matches differently. They look very rehearsed. He looks like he does the same four moves, but they look really good. That's my thing about it. Like they look
Flippity
really
flippity.
good. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, John Cena did 5.
Five moves of doom. That's what
So
I'm saying. You can if it looks good, you can't get mad about it.
yeah, you don't need more than 4.
But I can't see Logan winning without it completely killing the crowd. You know what I mean? So yeah, so especially in LA, I gotta go with Rollins on this one.
Yeah, it's really hard to bet against a celebrity at WrestleMania, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
very.
yeah.
But I'm going to.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I
guess
think Logan
celebrities
Paul.
are undefeated.
Yeah, Joe just about.
yeah.
Um,
Logan's a good heel though too. He's a good
he's a
heel.
very good heel, and
Yeah.
he's grown into the role. He gets it. Um, so I wrote this before the contract bit came in. So if the contract is really it and he's really done, then why would you have him beat one of your current stars to go away forever? That doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm assuming he's going to resign. I'm assuming he's going to resign quickly, and also very similar to the John Cena case I made before. They've got 4 huge shows right after WrestleMania, 3 international, obviously SummerSlam being the only domestic one. One of those 3 is in Puerto Rico. Logan Paul is famously or infamously, depending
Yeah,
on
he
your
does
point of
live
view,
there.
part of that community. Right? He lives in Puerto Rico. He trades in Puerto Rico. He's not Puerto Rican. It's not what I meant by part of that community. I do not want anyone to come at me for that. But he lives there. He trains there. He works there to some capacity. And I think, honestly, even if he doesn't sign a new contract right away, I think they're going to get him for at least one more match, and it's going to be in Puerto Rico. I think it's close to home. They're going to offer him a lot of money to do it. And so I think that Logan Paul's going to win at that, whatever match he has at Backlash. Maybe it's with Rollins. Maybe it's with someone else. There's also talk of Logan Paul versus John Cena down the line. So he's got a lot going on. I think he can afford to lose to Seth. Again, keep the fans happy, maybe set up something down the line at Backlash against Seth where he can get his win back. So that's my guess, but it's really hard to bet against a celebrity at WrestleMania. Pat McAfee's the only one to have a loss, I think.
Yeah, technically.
So
I wonder if he's gonna make an appearance.
they say no. They say they've got no plans for McAfee this year. But who knows? He was at the Rumble, so
right. Oh, well.
His commentary is awesome though.
Yeah,
it's the man. We have Edge versus Finn Balor in a Hell in a Cell match. Well, let's be real, it's the Demon Finn Balor. I don't know why it wasn't listed as that but regardless, Demon Finn Balor versus Edge in a Hell in a Cell. Again, a long-term booking should come to an end now. Is this match going to be brutal? Is it going to be ruthless? Is it going to be a classic? Do we see these two generational superstars having a hell of a match? Yes, pun intended.
Yeah, obviously. I feel bad for both of these guys. This feud has gone on way too long.
Yeah, right.
Way too long.
I don't care. It's a Hell in a Cell match, and I like that. Actually, that makes me care because I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But they had
Maybe
to
it
put
was
it
the only
inside.
thing they needed to do to make it more interesting.
What I'm saying, like it's all they could do. We've seen this a million times. We've seen why the wives, Edge's wife involved. We've seen so many versions of this. Also, Edge has won every single time. These guys have squared off for a year straight. My thing is that Finn Balor and Judgment Day got over not because of Edge, but literally whenever Edge went away. Edge came back and he became an albatross around Judgment Day's neck. Then he would leave for a while, and Judgment Day would get over with the fans because they're good. They just have been literally fighting the same guy over and over again. I think both of them kind of need to win this match, unfortunately, even though Edge has won consistently for a year. But I think the rehab of Edge is going to be a lot easier than a rehab to Finn if he loses to the same guy for a year straight. And if the Demon is really involved and the Demon loses again after that, fish flop thing he did at the
that was last time we saw him.
The boom boom, yeah. Then that's
with the top turnbuckle, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then
it just disappeared. It just collapsed.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So if that's what the Demon's coming off of. So if he shows up and gets worked by Edge,
he'll never be back again.
I just don't see how you could
ever
bring that back.
He's going home.
So I'm gonna say Finn Balor. Again, I feel bad for both. They're both really talented, so that's a check. It's a Hell in a Cell, which makes it unique. That's a check. I'm not excited about the build at all, but I am excited about what comes next because hopefully they don't continue this onward. Edge can move on from the Judgment Day. Finn can move on from the Edge, and they can all do something different.
Money Plane 2.
Yeah, Money Plane 2. That's next time I want them together. Finn and Edge and Money Plane 2. But other than that, I want them separate, and I think this should be a good match. Finn wins.
I got this Hell in a Cell match ending in a DQ. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. But yeah, like Ryan said, this could have ended literally months ago. This feud was taking honestly way too long. But having Demon Balor back, hopefully I get to see. Hopefully we get him in the red. I mean, not instead of the red, the purple. Because Judgment Day. I
think like Barney.
Yeah, and Edge, and every time he's been in a Hell in a Cell match, every time he's killed it, Edge. So
yeah.
I said they killed it, but I think Balor takes it.
Any chance we see Brute Edge coming back with this?
Brute Edge? I mean, we've seen Brute Edge.
I would love to. I would love to see Brute Edge, but I don't think so.
Brute Edge versus the Demon.
Well, I heard Gangrel's gonna be there.
Oh,
which could be fun. I'm sure it's just an entrance deal. I will say, talk about entrances here though. So the same guy or band, it's not a guy, does both entrance songs because obviously Finn's entrance is just Edge's old entrance when he was in charge of Judgment Day. I was like, what if they could just set it up so the band plays one guy in, then like the lights go down, they play Edge in.
That would be awesome.
Then they just switch to the new song.
The stage is big enough too.
Yeah, play Balor in. That would be kind of cool. They got the same band. Because you never get to have two people with the live performances back to back because that would be logistically a nightmare. But it's the same band, so they could actually have both people get a live entrance if they wanted to. And I'm like, I think that's good.
And every time And every time a live entrance performs, that person loses the match almost
But
exclusively.
we
Every
won't
time.
know now because it's
Yeah.
both of them.
Exactly.
Maybe God's gonna come back in on this one after beating Finn Balor last time. He's gonna take them both out. He's gonna stack Finn and Edge, pin them both.
That's insane stuff. And there's just 2 more matches to go. We have the women's showcase where it's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalie and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler and Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. What is going to happen here?
You really saved the best 2 for last, huh?
You know it. I'm just going to say Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez because I follow Liv Morgan on Instagram.
That's it. That's the entirety of the thought process.
Yes.
Who's Natalia teaming with?
Shotzi.
I'm going with them because I don't know who Shotzi is, but that's a kick-ass name. And
she's the one. She's got a tank.
Let's get a Shotzi.
Oh, okay.
Tank entrance. That's Shotzi.
Okay,
Green
so
hair.
her and Natalia, and I'm going with them because Natalia, Bret Hart. You know what I mean? Top 10.
Got to, but I'm not going to. I'm doing Ronda and Shayna. I'm treating, and this is just spoilers. I'm treating both of these like number 1 contenders matches. I have to, because otherwise, why are we doing this instead of an Andre Battle Royal? There's no benefit to not doing a Battle Royal. He wanted matches with stakes, less people on the card. That was Triple H's whole thing, right? He's like, we don't need everyone to be on this card. Okay, then these 2 matches need to have stakes. So in my head, these are number 1 contenders matches. No one has said that. I am just assuming.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, obviously we've got BLT holding the tag titles. We need a heel team. We need a heel team that feels like a threat to Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus. Ronda Rousey is the only name on any of these teams that feels like a threat to any of those 3 women. So I'm going to say that it's Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. Her and Shayna seem to really enjoy what they're doing now. And if it's setting up for them to take those titles off of BLT, then I think it all makes sense. So I'm going with Ronda and Shayna. But again, this could just be a showcase match, and then Shotzi can win, and I'll be really upset about it.
Mm-hmm. Let's get a shot.
That's a good pick though, Ronda and Shayna. I could see that as well.
Also, poor Sonya Deville. She's like the 3rd choice for this. It's supposed to be Carmella, then it was Piper Niven, and now it's Sonya. Chelsea Green. That team has just been a mess.
Yeah, this is really how do we distribute our WrestleMania paychecks on this one?
It could be Raquel and Liv, by the way. I just want to say that is another strong team. They're just not as strong. They don't have Ronda Rousey on it. So thinking about the future, that's why I went there instead of Raquel and Liv.
And then for the men's showcase, we have Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. Alpha Academy and Chad Gable and Otis versus the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar. I'm going to go.
Okay, I don't want to go first. So
I'm going to go here. Let's give it to Braun Strowman and Ricochet. They seem to be putting a lot of good work in and trying to earn it. These other matches are fun, and we'll wonder if there's going to be another tag team thrown in there. Wink, wink.
You really want RK Bro to get in this match, man.
I'm more excited to see Randy Orton, to be honest. I could do without Riddle, but
I love Riddle. I love Riddle.
Me too. I do love Riddle.
With the slides.
I will say that Alpha Academy has been almost not a team the past 3 weeks because Otis is joining Maximum Male Models.
Yeah.
So there is a shot that Chad Gable can't find Otis. And they need himself. They need a replacement team.
Oh,
so that's the only way I can see Riddle and Orton getting into this match. However, do not laugh. None of you are allowed to laugh at this pick. I did the wrestling math on this. I got an equation. Alpha Academy is not a team anymore. They're breaking up. The Street Profits may not be breaking up, but Montez Ford is clearly leaving to be a singles guy very soon. Ricochet and Braun, they could break up at any moment because they're not really a team. they have to be the number one contenders. The champions are going to be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. The only team that actually makes sense is the Viking Raiders, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Viking Raiders. Yeah.
Viking Raiders, they're a real team. Like, they're not going anywhere from one another. They're heels, so they can feud with Sammy and KO. If this is, like, in my head, a number one contenders match. Yeah, and I just don't necessarily see who else it could be. I mean, again, if RK Bro gets back together, then heel face, all that gets thrown out the window. They're winning this match. So caveat: if Randy Orton shows up in this match specifically, then sure, he's gonna win. But if it's as advertised, I don't know, man. They're the only team that makes sense to win, and that's weird. Giving Viking Raiders a WrestleMania win.
Representing all the Vikings out there.
All those Vikings. But it can't be them, right? Like, I'm stupid for saying this, right, AJ? The Viking Raiders.
I was gonna say when you guys got excited for the Viking Raiders, I might be the odd guy out here, but I don't like them. I don't
either. No, I don't. I'm not excited about this. I'm just
they're just kind of there, and they're Vikings.
You're right about Alpha Academy. I think they need to break up, honestly, because Gable deserves so much better. He needs to be in either the IC title picture, the US title picture, something. Street Profits, I don't know. It's almost too much of a given for them to win it. I might go Strowman and Ricochet.
Yeah.
I the little guy and big guy dynamic. I'm loving it, and I think if they win, it's probably gonna mean absolutely nothing. But still, you know what I mean?
Is that my problem? I'm assigning too much onto these matches.
That's what I think so. This might just be a giveaway for the show.
You think these matches are over under 10 minutes? They gotta be under, don't you?
No,
think?
so
I'm calling under. I'll do under.
The men did a 8-man tag recently that was really good on TV. So like Alpha Academy and Viking Raiders versus Street Profits, Ricochet and Braun Strowman, and it was really good. And maybe it was supposed to be under 10, but I think after seeing that, they get at least 10. Women under 10, absolutely. And you know what? I'm gonna stick to my convictions, unlike my Rey Mysterio pick. I'm gonna say Viking Raiders are gonna be the number one contenders, and this is where it starts. Join the raid. The Viking experience comes.
Join the raid.
Remember when they were the Viking experience? The Viking experience comes.
The straight up experience
to LA. Get ready, Tinseltown, to be pillaged.
Tinseltown.
Tinseltown's getting pillaged.
The world's gonna flip upside down with this, but we hit every match pretty much, guys. And we mentioned and we addressed any rumors or surprise appearances or anything else we missed.
Yes.
The best match.
And I actually just saw this. Oh, what's the best match?
Did we already talk about Lesnar and Omos?
Oh, we did not.
Fuck. Yeah,
you guys are missing the best match.
Damn, what is going on? Wow, I just straight up missed that.
This match has the, like, you know, it can either be the worst one on the card or the greatest one of all time.
Wow.
I need to see Lesnar, Hulk Hogan drop Omos and hit a leg drop.
Wow, you saved it, guys. Time. You saved it, AJ. Good save there. I missed that. My bad.
I got Lesnar hitting a leg drop for the win.
Brock Lesnar versus
Hulk Hogan style.
I mean,
jam that jam, Brock.
You could do a whole documentary on why this match is even a thing. Like, seriously.
Oh yeah.
This was definitely a Vince McMahon. Give me my one. Give me my one.
Give me my one. I need a big guy.
This was a Brock Lesnar.
He wanted. Brock. He said. Did he really?
He was apparently, this is what I'm hearing, supposed to work with Bray Wyatt at this show, and he said absolutely not. And so they gave him Omos instead. That is apparently 100% true. They're like, I guess you could do Omos, and he, when looking at Bray Wyatt and Omos, said, "Oh yeah, Omos."
Really didn't want Gunther, huh?
Well, Gunther was. I don't believe Gunther was an option. I think that's you. That's a Matt Brown.
Well,
option.
I mean, they even previewed it at Royal Rumble. They just, I guess, wanted the picture.
They previewed Keith Lee at Royal Rumble, then they fired him. What do you mean?
Wait,
Not this one, but they had Brock Lesnar stare down with Keith Lee. Oh, he's a big boy.
Oh,
Oh
That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
that
thing.
was a year
that's
ago or
true.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and then they fired
That
him.
was the
So, I mean,
2020, yeah.
yeah, they don't care who they preview. Till they
Okay.
advertise it, it's not real.
Regarding the match itself, Omos versus Brock Lesnar, like how does this? We could do the over under 5 minutes on this one.
Oh, under.
I call over 15 minutes.
Oh, they can't do that.
So are we just waiting for him to do the
F5.
the biggest F5 of all time, literally, and then go home?
I hope it botches.
It might.
Oh man, it's 450 pounds on your shoulder. That's a
He
lot.
pulls something in his back. He's got to do a leg drop. I'll go crazy.
He just wants his leg drop, brother.
Instead of the red and black shorts, they're red and yellow.
Could you imagine?
I would love it.
He goes full Hulk Hogan.
And also, wasn't there a report that Brock was saying goodbye, allegedly, and this would be his last match against Omos.
Oh
Omos.
God,
So hold on, let me. I just found my prediction for this. I want to say that as much as I'm like crapping on this because I think it could be real bad, I am kind of curious. I'm a bit excited to see how it actually goes. But I am mad at Brock Lesnar, as I mentioned before, and I've explained now why. He ruined Bray Wyatt's WrestleMania, and I don't think that's fair to any of us that want to see Bray Wyatt. So in my head, Bray comes back, destroys Brock, almost gets the win, and then Brock goes to wherever he goes after. But that's not what's going to actually happen. Again, I want to get these predictions correctly. So barring my Bray Wyatt interference here, I think the Omos is getting tossed. That's obviously what's going to happen. But I do think that Omos has a chance to look big, and not in the way like, oh, he looks big, like because he's tall. Like he could look like a real big man that could maybe do some damage in the mid card title scene, especially with MVP kind of at his side. You know, working that gimmick as his new manager. Maybe a reformed Hurt Business that goes after Bobby Lashley instead of works for Bobby Lashley. And Omos could be a big part of that. So yeah, I think this is probably Brock. There is the chance that Bray does return here, because I do think that Bray is cleared, and I think they're gonna want him on the show somehow. They just didn't have time to do a full story with him. Yeah,
They
that's
couldn't have Omos disappear because of the Fiend.
Could you imagine if that happens? If MVP's backstage, like, where's Omos? Because that's a big person to be gone. Really hard to miss an Omos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So could you imagine? No, they won't do that. They won't do again. Omos has actually been really good in the build to this. The weigh-in segment was a little silly, but kind of fun.
He was on Andy Cohen.
Yeah, he's on Andy Cohen to promote it. Like, yeah, so he's been very good in this. He does deserve this moment. He's worked hard in the build for this moment. He didn't when he got it. He was given this moment for absolutely no reason. Definitely not worth it when he was handed this moment. But since he's been handed this moment, he has really ran with it in a way that I've enjoyed, and I think a lot of other fans, the Omos Sapiens all over the internet, have the Omos Sapiens.
Homo sapiens.
So I think that he earned this. He should get a full-on match, with a real conclusion. But I would really like to see Bray show up after the match. I would personally really like to see that. Triple H telling Brock Lesnar exactly who's in charge now that Vince is gone.
Any other thoughts with this, AJ, on this? So you want to see the leg drop and the throw and all that?
That's it. As long as I get a leg drop, I'll be happy. This will be the match of the night if I get that.
Oh man, what a unique WrestleMania, guys! But yep.
One more thing.
Yep.
I just saw this on my phone. Snoop Dogg's celebrity belt that I haven't really been following. Have you seen that? It's been going all these different celebrities. Like, yeah, Vanessa Hudgens had it. Joey Logano, the NASCAR driver, had it. Rob Gronkowski had it. Hezbollah had it. Right.
Hezbollah.
Yeah, Hezbollah.
So apparently it's been found because Snoop Dogg told everyone that he lost it or it was stolen. And it was found. Mario Lopez had it and gave it to The Miz.
Oh.
So The Miz has it. So obviously Snoop Dogg will be there. He's getting involved with The Miz. So that does kind of put a bit of a thing in my Miz versus, Miz and LA Knight versus Bobby Lashley and someone. Doesn't mean there's not another return, to team with LA Knight. Or maybe they just do Bobby Lashley bashes LA Knight. That's possible too. He's still going to be on the card, but I'm just pointing it out that The Miz is already priorly engaged with Snoop Dogg, and so that's what's going to happen. And that feels like maybe the spot Stone Cold could show up in as well. Stone Cold doing the beer bath with Snoop Dogg, and then if we're lucky, if we behave ourselves, we get a Snoop Dogg stunner.
Oh, Snoop Dogg stunner. Then there's no one else to stunner after
No one
that.
else. Yeah, he can. Stone Cold can never return.
Man, it's too bad we're never gonna get Big Show versus Shaq. Still, in this
We can.
Hollywood,
An
Hollywood
AEW.
WrestleMania. Yeah,
AEW
but we could do
could
it
do
at
it.
a Hollywood WrestleMania.
Oh, they can go to
The
Hollywood.
Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing Hollywood. Yeah, Revolution
But-
Hollywood. Revolution goes Hollywood.
Right, but we're gonna see a Snoop Dogg and Miz confrontation.
I think
Hit
so.
him with the right hook.
Into the stunner. I think so.
I'm trying to think about who, if Snoop Dogg were to bring somebody out, who would he bring out?
Who would Snoop Dogg? Not
Yeah,
Sasha
I'm-
Banks, Mercedes Moan.
That was my first thought. I was like,
Monet,
it can't be, it can't
Monet,
be her.
Monet.
Mercedes Moan. Very different sounding name if it goes to Mercedes Moan, but that's fine.
Or Snoop Dogg and Eminem or Dr. J.
Dr. Dre.
No, reunite the Super Bowl halftime show with Kendrick Lamar and Mary J. Blige, and then with Anderson .Paak playing drums happily.
Put 50 Cent hanging from the
50 Cent
the
too.
rafters upside down.
Or Jake Paul comes back. You lost a match. You lost your boxing match. That's your way to get redeemed.
He wouldn't come back here. You know what I mean? Like here doesn't make sense for Jake Paul.
Snoop Dogg and Rob Gronkowski. Wow, that really failed at WWE.
Oh, I see it is now. Mario Lopez. Yeah, that title looks crazy. The all gold with the
The
green
gold
strap.
belt, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're doing something with it.
Okay.
And the Miz has currently got it. So
Or
it'll be Miz based.
A celebrity battle royal. You just
Oh,
bring
God.
every celebrity you could think of. Bring in
Can you
Adam
imagine-
Sandler, Matthew McConaughey.
Vanessa Hudgens getting in the ring to get back her title. She had him up, but that would be funny.
Bring in Ki Kwan off his Oscar win and Brendan Fraser.
Oh, he's the big man. How many people is going to take to throw him out? Big men do historically well in battle royals, in case you didn't know.
That's what I'm saying.
They
Or
don't.
bring the most shocking celebrity you could think of to come back. Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart versus Snoop Dogg.
Kevin Hart with the
versus
Stone Cold Stunner.
Kevin Hart
Kevin
versus
Hart
The Rock,
Stone
though.
Cold Stunner.
Kevin
Kevin Hart versus
though.
The Rock.
That's money. That's full money.
Yeah, you have to pick up Kevin Hart to.
That's full money. The people's
next
elbow
fastest
of
retro-
Kevin Hart. That's full money right there.
Man.
That's bigger than Brock Roman.
That's bigger than Brock Omos. And that draws money right there.
The drawing power of Brock Omos.
Or Stephen A. You have Stephen A.
Stephen
win
A.
his man.
Could you imagine?
Or
Stephen A.
Bad
gets
Bunny
in
comes
there?
out.
What? Oh man, That's
Matt,
That might happen.
Matt got excited when he heard
that's
that.
right.
Well, because Bad Bunny's going to be in Puerto Rico. At
Oh,
Backlash.
we're gonna
okay.
save all
Like
that.
that's going to happen. So he may show up. At
That
Mania.
really will be the biggest pop of all time.
Yeah. So he might show up at this because he's got a match in a month. I don't know who it's with, but he's got a match in a month. So
Is Karrion Kross on the schedule?
he's
No.
on the WrestleMania SmackDown.
Oh wow!
Oh,
How the
He
mighty
should
have
leave.
fallen.
Yeah, he should leave.
you should go
He's
to
got a
AEW.
role. No, he's got a role in the Freddie Prinze Jr. thing that they had to rewrite because he took the WWE job. I don't know what Triple H promised him, but he lied. So
Just straight up lie.
he just wasn't telling the truth. So Karrion Kross should go ahead. He should leave and go back with Freddie Prinze because I think that could be a really cool TV if he can build the pieces. And I think Kross was a big piece before he left. So hopefully Kross comes to that conclusion as well and takes his ball and goes somewhere where they'll use him a little better.
Yeah, and you know, just to end it on here, just wondering what Stephen A. will do because though it's great. What are you gonna put? You're gonna put him on the commentary team?
You do know it's entirely possible, and I don't want to upset you. He just goes to watch the show.
I mean, that's fine too. Just have an appearance, but why miss that opportunity to give him a mic? He's as good as it gets to talking to the masses.
Because I don't believe in, I don't mean this disrespectfully, I don't believe Stephen A. can name a single professional wrestler.
Of course, that's what makes it funny.
Well, he can't do commentary if he doesn't know who's fighting. We saw Pat McAfee try it, but at least Pat McAfee knew their names because he had previously worked there. Stephen A. won't even know their names.
He just read it off of paper.
Oh, he's in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Yeah, Karrion. He's on the SmackDown, WrestleMania SmackDown.
So is my boy Happy Corbin. Let's go.
He could win that. Why not?
Yeah, 2-time Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner.
Yeah, why not? Wrestling God.
Wrestling God.
Wrestling's is so much fun right now. It really is. But man, that does it. Broke it all down for you. We'll check back in next week. We will record on Tuesday and release it on Wednesday of this historic WrestleMania weekend, and probably even a more historic Raw after WrestleMania. So it'll be really good. Ryan Page and AJ the Man, thank you so much, gentlemen. And can't wait to react to all of this. I really can't.
Tuesday should be wild.
Yep. See you later, boys.
All right.